Ooh, here we go. We are live. Welcome, everybody. This is the Elev8 project. I'm Ryan. And today we're going to be talking about Prime Days, some great deals. Now, if you've been in the market for a mic, and today there are some two big deals for Prime Days. Now, if you're watching live, today's October 7th. The deals are on right now. If you're watching after the live stream, it's A-OK. Give you a little bit of my thoughts on these two great mics. So the first mic that I'm going to be talking about today is the Shure SM7B. We'll go online in a moment to kind of take a look at the pricing it is today, things that I like about it, things that you need to think about when going into this type of mic. So this mic is not a cheap mic, even on Prime Days. And then the other mic I'll be talking about as well is the MAONO PD200X. Now, that mic is a little bit more affordable, and I'll actually give you an opportunity to listen to it and compare it to this mic right here. So the Shure SM7B, it has been around for a long time. The history of this mic, the original Shure SM7B, was used in Michael Jackson's hit song Thriller. Now, obviously, I'm doing this live. You can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. So this mic has been tried and true over the years. The build is amazing. I believe that it really brings out a nice tone, a nice sound, and gives you a lot of clarity. Now, this is a dynamic mic. So one of the drawbacks of this mic is that it is gain hungry. So you're not just going to be purchasing this mic if you want to use it for Zoom, Teams, live streaming like what we're doing right now, is you need to think about what you're going to be connecting this to. So this is connected through an XLR cable, and this is connected to my Rodecaster Duo. Now, before I got the Rodecaster Duo, I really needed to think about how to get as much power to this mic, because if you don't, you may not be happy with the audio performance and the audio quality. So depending on what you're connecting this to, because specifically for YouTube or live streaming, is that you need to connect this into some sort of preamp or mixer that connects this to your computer. Now, especially for Zoom and Microsoft Teams, I recommend something like the Rodecaster Duo. The reason why I like the Rodecaster Duo, I like the Rode brand. I'll do a separate review on the Rodecaster Duo, but I've actually used the Rodecaster Pro Original, and I do have a lot of videos. I have a few videos on how to set that up and how that performs. And that Rodecaster Pro actually did not have enough power or gain to bring into this Shure SM7B to get me that quality that I was looking for that performance, the roll-off, just the nice quality broadcasting voice that I wanted to portray on my streams. And in order to get that, I had to purchase this extra accessory, which is a cloud lifter. Now, this amplifies the gain or the power to get to this mic so you can really get the best quality. So even though on Prime Days, you may be able to get this on a great deal, something to think about is, depending on what you're connecting this to, you may need to get one of these cloud lifters to amplify the signal. Now, the Shure SM7B, I've used, I want to say, since 2022, 2021, and it is built solid. I've moved into a few different studios. I brought this in my videography business so I can film like podcasts, etc. Even our own podcast that I'm doing with my friend of mine, which I'll kind of just flip through, just that nice little plug. And this is Last Wheel Cycling Podcast. We're on YouTube, Spotify, etc. This is my friend Abdul. And if you see the mic that he's using, he's actually using the MAONO 200 PD200X. Now, again, a good mic. It's connected to the Rodecaster Duo, which you can really kind of dial in. It's an XLR mic. Well, what's great about the MAONO, which I'll talk about a little bit later, you can connect it through USB-C as well. So you can kind of direct it. If you don't have a mixer or anything like that, like the Rodecaster Duo, you can connect it straight to your computer. So as you can see, for me, I'm using the Shure SM7B. That's just in our other studio, again, for podcasting. Now, this thing has been dropped. This thing during travel. I do have some marks and scuffs. And again, I do pack it. But of course, when you're screwing and unscrewing the setup onto a boom arm, to a mic stand, and all those different things, yes, even during travel, as careful as you can be, you can't drop the mic. Now, that being said, you tell me, I got this in 2021, 2022. How does it still sound? I think it still sounds great. I've gotten a lot of great compliments on Microsoft Teams, Zoom, all the time. And I always get that, hey, your voice sounds really good, great audio quality. So again, if you are looking for that audio quality that's better than the mic on your computer, then this is a good mic to go to. Now, this is on the high end. Now, I do want to switch over to the MAONO so you can kind of just really hear the difference. Now, again, if you're on the live stream, you're going to be hearing I'm probably going to go back and forth throughout the stream. But of course, if you are watching this post live, you can just go back and compare the audio. So give me a moment here while I switch up the mics. Test, 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking at my levels. I'm looking pretty good. And this is, now you're listening to the MAONO PD200X. Now, with any mic that you get, you're going to get the best audio, having the mic as close to the audio source as much as possible. So obviously, even the Shure SM7B, when I have this close to my mouth, obviously I'm going to get good sound and hopefully on your end, really good quality. And the farther that I get from the mic, it will obviously lower in volume and may catch some background noise. Now, what's similar with these two mics, and this is the reason why I wanted to compare these two mics specifically, is this is also a dynamic condenser mic. So there's dynamic mics and there's condenser mics. And I don't have a condenser mic around me right now, but we also run a condenser mic on one of our podcasts. And depending on the podcast, so if there is multiple people, having the same mic is ideal. However, some people in my videography business, they want to use their own mics because they spend a lot of money. And the condenser mic, for me, kind of takes in a lot of extra background noise. So I really like the dynamic mics, especially when it comes to things like podcasting. Now, this one here is marketed for podcasting. And what's nice about this is that if you are a beginner and you wanted to get into podcasting, you don't have to start with getting a mic, a mixer like the Rodecaster Duo or Rodecaster Pro. Then you got to get these XLR cables to connect it into those devices. What's nice about this mic is that it's also USB-C. So you can connect this to your computer directly. It will recognize it as a peripheral, as a mic. You select it and you are good to go. Now, when you do connect this to USB-C, this does have some pretty cool lights that will light up. You have a little volume control as well, and you can power it on and off because the power is coming into the mic to give it those extra features. Now, you're probably going to notice it comes with this mount. and it's a shock mount. So typically when you hit the mic, it's gonna pick up those vibrations. So what's really nice, this also comes with that. So you're gonna get good quality audio, even if it gets bumped. And honestly, this has been a great mic for me when I travel solo. So for my videography business, for sure, I'm gonna bring the Shure SM7B with me to ensure my clients are getting the best mics and the best audio. However, if it's for me and I got to travel and I'm having some video conference calls through Zoom or through Microsoft Teams, this can plug in through USB-C, plug it into my MacBook Pro, and I'm good to go. Like typically, even when it comes to video and audio, I personally think audio is more important than video, especially when it comes to a conference call. Because when it comes to video, it's great to see that visual and great quality. However, the way that you're communicating to ensure that they can hear you properly and you're getting your message across, especially when you're presenting and you're talking to clients, this has always been a good go-to to have a better mic. So think about that for a moment if you're starting a podcast. Obviously, the last wheel cycling that you saw a little bit earlier, again, I'm just going to show quick footage here. Both myself and my friend Abdul, shout out to Abdul, last wheel cycling. He's using the MAONO PD200X. I'm using the Shure SM7B. And again, even in podcasting is typically audio only. We opted for audio for Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, but also a video version just to make it more interactive. And I think a lot of people are going that route. But as you can see here, we really wanted to focus on the audio quality for our podcast. So something to think about. Now, Shure SM7B, I mentioned earlier, I've dropped that mic through travel, has some marks, some scuffs, and I think still sounds great. It is XLR only. It has a good metal construction, and it's awesome. It's amazing. I love that thing. Probably too much. Now, this mic is a lot more affordable. And again, we're going to go jump online in a moment to see what the prime deal pricing is on this today. This is cheaper. So the construction is not as premium as the Shure SM7B. This has a lot of plastic parts. The actual build and even the shock mount is plastic. It still does the job. However, when you're thinking about longevity, this will last a long time. Again, it's just how you take care of your gear. And if I was going to compare the two, obviously, with just the build of the Shure SM7B and everything about it with the deep sound, and again, you can compare these two. I haven't had, because we're going live here, I'm not playing this back just yet, but you should hear some similar tones. However, overall sound quality will most likely sound better on the Shure SM7B. And again, if you're live streaming, it is also going to depend on what they're going to be listening to your content with. So if they're listening from an iPhone or a mobility device, there's a lot of compressing there already to make sure that it's getting the best quality audio. Now, if you're listening through an amp and large speakers, you're probably going to notice a little bit of a difference, especially if you're listening to your computer and you have external monitors, so external speaker monitors, you might be able to notice the difference as well. I think overall, though, most people are watching YouTube and listening to audio podcasts. You're probably going to notice a difference if you're maybe even listening in your car when it comes to the audio. However, on a video podcast or Zoom or WebEx or Teams, it's going to be better than the mic on your computer. However, between these two mics, you might not even be able to notice or hear a difference. So this is the MAONO PD200X. I'm going to switch back to the Shure SM7B. We're going to jump online to kind of see what is the pricing for Prime Days on the web. So I am just going to switch mics. Give me a moment. Okay, so you just heard me on the Mono PD200X. Now we're back to the Shure SM7B. You let me know if you're hearing a difference either in the comments or if you're here live. Go ahead and add something in the chat for me. Okay, so we're going online right now. So again, we do have some links in the description. Make sure to check that out if you're interested in the Shure SM7B or the Mono PD200X. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I am in frame here. So this is the Prime Big Deal. It's on sale today. This is October 7th. It's $380 US. Regular price, you're getting 13% off, $439. Again, I guess it's gotten popular for gaming as well. I didn't actually realize that. So just kind of reading here, advertiser for podcasting, even for professional recording, if you're a musician, and broadcasting. So these are some of the professional mics that you see in a lot of professional broadcasts. Detachable windscreens. So yes, in the box, I just used the one that's defaulted that was on it, but you can actually change this, put different colors, and it comes with a thicker one as well. So that windscreen is to ensure that it helps you with plosives and making sure that you don't get some harsh sounds when you're saying things like puh, puh, that start with the letter P, plosives. And yeah, wide range frequency. Here's some podcasting. And yeah, this is the exact box that mine came with as well. And when you can see here, that extra windscreen, again, it comes off. You can put that on top. I believe a lot of people like even just the look of the thicker windscreen. And it does come with an adapter. So depending on the boom arm that you're using or the mic stand that you're using. So when I go out in field for my videography business, my mic stand doesn't need the adapter because it's meant for that. Now for this boom arm, I'm actually, I don't know if you can see it here, but this piece here, yeah, it's not. There we go. See this gold piece? This gold piece here is the same gold piece that you see on the web, and that's an adapter for this boom arm. So it will help ensure that regardless of the stand or the boom arm that you're using, you'll be able to use this mic. All right. So again, $380 US is not cheap. And again, if you don't have a Rodecaster Pro or a premixer to get this to a computer, you got to think about that additional cost for something like a cloud lifter. Now, there are more than just a cloud lifter to boost the signal. However, what's nice about the Rodecaster Duo and the Rodecaster Pro 2, which are the devices that I like to use, or Rode is what I like to use, the preamps has enough power or phantom power to power the Shure SM7B as you hear it today. So you don't actually need to pay that extra cost for a cloud lifter. Now let's take a look at the Mono PD200X. So this one right here is the one that you were just listening to a little bit earlier. And I think it makes sense for me to switch while I talk about the Mono PD200X. So I'm going to switch mics again. Check, check. So this is now, I'm speaking from the PD200X. As we go online, this is, again, XLR and USB-C. So I'm just going to see if it will. So right here on the bottom, there you see the USB-C. And the cool thing is it comes with the cable. You're all set up. You're good to go. It doesn't come, I believe it doesn't come with the XLR cable, but it does come with the USB-C cable. And this is for $55.99 for the Prime Big Deal today. And that's 20% off. Again, it's a dynamic mic. And oh, the great thing too, it does have a headphone jack. Now, the headphone jack is, again, they're saying when you're streaming or when you're gaming, you'll be able to hear your audio when you plug in a pair of headphones while you're speaking. So that can kind of tell you if you're too loud or you're too soft, or you want to tweak your audio. I do that a lot with the Rodecaster Duo as well. I tend to have the settings and leave it, and I'm pretty good with where the levels are at, where I don't need to I don't have to monitor and use headphones while I'm streaming. So again, just some advertisements here. This is when it's plugged into USB-C, and you can see that it has all the lights that get engaged on it. Again, I'm not a gamer or anything like that, so if you're into that, you can obviously use that feature. Now, I use it through XLR. It's not getting any power, so that's why, as you can see the mic while I'm using it, obviously you can hear me now. You don't see any of that. Now, what are some other things here? Multiple RGB lighting atmosphere, mic gain. You know, if we wanted to get some gaming, here it is, USB-C. So as you can see is that I have it plugged in through XLR here, and there's the USB-C. Then there's the headphone jack as well. And the cool thing is it does come in white if you're interested. So this was just a kind of, I wouldn't say a quick video, but I did want to come on live stream, as I know some of you are waiting for those deals and maybe didn't know that there's a prime big deal on the specific items that you're looking for. So if you are looking for a mic, again, the big difference, $380 US today for the Shure SM7B and $55.99 for the MAONO PD200X. I think both are great. I think kind of depends on where you are at in your streaming or how you want to level up, and of course, and how much you're willing to spend. So for me, the PD200X is definitely a good deal for a beginner. For me, again, I use this even when I'm traveling. I don't necessarily, if I'm traveling for my videography business and I want to do, and it's just literally some streams or some meetings, I like to bring this mic. And I typically don't want to bring the Shure SM7B unless I am bringing it on a shoot specifically for a client to use. Because if I don't need to bring that mic for my client, it saves me from bringing a Rodecaster and XLR cables and setting it up with a mic stand and all those type of things. Here you can see I'm not even using a mic stand. I just have the shock mount. And then when I'm connecting this while I'm traveling, it's just a USB-C. And for a lot of my devices, even my FX30 and my cameras to charge it is through USB-C. My iPhone, etc., is USB-C. Okay, let's switch back to Shure SM7B and close this live stream. So we started with the Shure SM7B. So we're going to end this live stream with the Shure SM7B. So I hope you found some value in this content. If you're able to check in live, notice that there isn't anything in the chat. That's A-okay. I still appreciate you. I haven't sent any pre-advertisement of when I'm streaming live. That's something for me to think about, as want to get some feedback from all of you. So add in the comments if you do like these live streams. Really nothing really set up, just kind of my thoughts off the cuff of the different devices and tech that I use for working from home, as well as for my videography business, and even just for the simplicity of passion for tech. I love fiddling around with audio and video. So again, if you have any comments, good or bad, or questions about the Shure SM7B, add them in the chat now. And if I don't get them in the chat, add them into the comments so I can answer them for you. And the MAONO PD200X, one on the high end and one in a more affordable end. Well, again, this is another live stream with the Elev8 project. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I'll catch you in the next one.